Hey, everybody. Thank you for coming back to join us for another week of the Keller Williams Young Professionals Greater PA Region podcast. And I am Jerry Wells. I know you're not here to see me. That's perfectly fine. I'm joined today by the one and only Montaz McCray. Montaz, you can obviously do a better introduction of yourself than I can. So I'm going to let you introduce yourself. Tell everybody a little bit about who you are, where you're from, and how you got in the business.
Got it. So first, thanks so much for having me on the platform. Really appreciate it. Just allow me to tell my story. So, I feel like when people ask me, introduce yourself, it's such a loaded question. It's just crazy, just super blessed to kind of be where I'm at right now, but just always working every day just to be a better version of myself and continue prospering. But as of right now, I'm currently serving the DC, Maryland, and Virginia area as a realtor.
Okay.
I've been licensed for about a year and a half. I've been blessed to do about over 20 million in real estate. From now, at this, for the last year, and that's right now for the last year. So it's been about 20 million, but at this point. So I've just been really blessed, really fortunate, but I worked really hard in terms of just learning as much as I can and trying to absorb as much information as possible and learn from others around me.
Got it. Well, Montaz, I know I've heard your story a little bit. I love it, man. And, when we started figuring out who we're going to interview and really share with KWYP, this is a whole thing. We wanted people who can be relevant, right? No offense to anyone that's doing 300, 400, 500, or $1 billion in sales. That's great. However, when you're like us, you're, fairly new in the business, that $1 billion in sales seems kind of far-fetched, right? So you said you've been in now a year and a half. It almost seems like it's been longer than that. I know you were the rookie of the year for Keller Williams. I'm not even going to say what you sold because I'll probably be wrong. I think was it close to about 11 million? Was that it? Rookie year?
Yeah, you're spot on, 11.5. Right. Boom, there we go.
Awesome, man. So now you just said 20 million. Is that 2022?
So that's not 2022. So
okay.
I said just last year. So that's probably the last half of 2020, the last 6 months of 2021, and then probably the last 7 months of this year. So in total 20. But so last year I sold 11.5 million. This year I'm at 13. So yeah, we still got a couple months left to go. So I'm excited about that. So for 2022, trying to hit 20 million. So that's the goal.
Got it. 2022, you will hit 20 million. I got it, man. I love it. I'm going to speak that into existence for you. So let's talk about this. This is your second full year real estate. Talk to us a little about how you got started in real estate and what brought you to KW.
Yeah, so I had a mentor at Compass. He said the best place to train was Keller Williams. So that's where I hung my license to learn and tapped in all the training courses and the different things that my market center offered, which was amazing. I met so many amazing people. That number one, who they just didn't withhold information. They were just willing to share everything with me. Went through their entire buyer consultation with me, went through their entire listing presentation with me. That's kind of rare, especially from what people have been telling me. And top agents too, who ran major teams, they would be willing to share. So that's what really helped me jumpstart my career, because I took that information and I followed it habitually. I practiced it. I learned the scripts and I studied it. And so that's, so I always, a lot of new agents, they come to me and they say, hey, well, what should I be doing? And I always say, get in an environment where you can learn and thrive. Don't focus on a split. A lot of people want to go to 100% commission brokerages. However, they don't know the business. And I'm like, let's just say you do 3 deals at 100% commission. That's fine. But if you are in a place that could teach you how to fish and teach you how to get business and teach you how to get more business off of the business that you have, I would rather do 11 deals at a 70% commission, right?
Yeah.
Vice versa, than do 3 at 100%, because 100% of nothing is nothing if they're not teaching you anything. So just again, I just attribute a lot of my successes to being in an environment where I can learn and grow and where people share information.
Yeah, I love that, man, because that really speaks to, the culture, right? KW culture. You said it yourself. That's rare. That's not something you see a lot of places. And, if I could, I would say we'll put that little part on the loop right there, because I think that's what most newer agents need to realize and understand. You have to put yourself in the position to like really succeed and thrive and get with the right people. Now, that is awesome for you really getting going your first year. Tell me a little bit about yes, you had a mentor at Compass that got you into KW. What is it that made you decide, you know what, I'm going to do real estate? Like, where did that thought come from?
Right. So, I mean, it's literally crazy, but I had a friend, I went to Atlanta to visit him and just have a good time and hang out. So he has like a $1.5 million house, works for Apple. Well, he worked for Apple at the time, like a head business development manager, making high 200s. And he told me, he was like, hey, I'm quitting my job at Apple and I'm getting involved in real estate full time. So I'm just like, what? Because I was about to go to NYU to, pursue my MBA. So, just pursue higher education so I could climb up the corporate ladder faster just by, having this amazing resume and work ethic. And I'm just, this dude is where I'm at. And he's like jumping ship to get involved in real estate. Like, well, maybe I should get involved in real estate. Or maybe I should just do my due diligence. So I did just that. I did my due diligence and I was like, doesn't seem too bad, right? Once I really started learning and, being inquisitive, and I made a few phone calls to some other top realtors. So that's what really piqued my interest, the real estate, because success leaves clues. There's no reason to reinvent the wheel.
No.
So for me, it's just like, this guy making high 200s getting in real estate. I'm like, okay, it must be something there. So that's what kind of piqued my interest in the real estate. So completely random, completely by chance. Of course, I watched the real estate shows before, and I'm like, oh, I think I could do that, but never just made me just go get my license, right?
Got it. Now, what were you doing at the time? Because you said you were getting ready to go to NYU and get your MBA. Was this fresh out of college?
So like the NYU thing was still in the works. So I was in my last semester. I was at my last month of undergrad. Literally, it was November. And I decided, like, it was probably like the end of October, I had took that trip. And I was like, you know what? Okay, like I got 5 college exams next month. Like, what's one more test? So I started studying for my real estate exam, and I got it at the end of November, and I hung my license like December 1. And that's also the same day I started my, full-time accountant job, because I just graduated school.
So you're getting ready to graduate. You have 5 exams. You decide, okay, I'm going to get my real estate license. So let me go ahead and add an extra test. You said that. I don't think very many seniors are like, oh, we only got 5 exams. Let me add another. Most are like, I don't want to take one. And you're in the process of starting an accountant job. How was that transition? Are you still in accounting?
Absolutely not. No.
All right. So let's hear a little bit about that. Going from, really, I guess, were you dual career at one point, doing accounting and real estate?
Yeah, so dual career for about 2.5 months before I got fired from my accounting job. Okay. So that was crazy. They found my social media. And then plus my effort just wasn't there, because I was leaving early to, go do open houses and to go do showings during my lunch breaks. I was on real estate training. So the performance wasn't 100% out. Like, I was just doing just enough to get by, and they kind of caught on to it.
Got it.
So they ended up letting me go, but I just had a greater vision. I felt like I had a greater purpose elsewhere. So it caused my, attention span to sway, because I just knew what I wanted. I wanted to impact lives. I wanted to see the fruits of my labor on a greater scale. So it just kind of led to my, activity and passion for the accounting job to start to dwindle.
Got it. I got it. So fast forward, you're full-time in real estate. You have a lot of mentors. You have a lot of people in your brokerage that are helping you in the DC area. Are you in the same market center with Keith James?
No, so I am with Keller Williams Realty Center in the greater Howard area, so in Maryland, Columbia, Maryland. But I am licensed in DC, Maryland, and Virginia. I'll do like Northern Virginia, all of DC, and then most parts of Maryland.
Okay, awesome. I always ask that question when people are down in the area, just because me and Keith are boys, so I like to have people go mess with them for me. Walk us through really your first year. Right, your first year. What were some successes you had, and even more importantly, for connection purposes, what were some of the bigger failures you've had?
Bigger failures. I mean, I guess I view everything as like learning experience, but
yeah,
I guess I just like belief in myself, right? Because a lot of people have like these limiting beliefs, and I think if I could just go back, I would just tell myself just just think limitless, right? Just believe I can do anything, because at the end of the day, I can. And just be calm too, and trust the process, because it's not going to happen overnight. So I think honestly, that's the message. Trust the process, like be calm, because I want everything like instantly, but most people do. But it's kind of like, just be calm, trust the process, be kind, be nice to people, and work extremely hard. And if you do those things, eventually, you'll get what's yours.
Now, it's interesting to hear you say be calm and trust the process, right? Things aren't going to happen overnight. It's not going to come suddenly. Yet you did 11 million in your first year. So, if you were patient, like walk us through, like, what was that the first, I don't know, 3 months or maybe first 6 months, like were those months slower than second half? Okay.
So I didn't sell a house my first 6 months in the business, right? Wow. So for like 5 maybe. So anyway, like whoever can do the math. So December, I joined December, and I didn't sell my first house until mid-April. So whatever that is, but I know that was 4 to 6 months. A long time.
Right there. You're right there. 5-6 months. Yep.
Yeah, a very long time to come from making close to 6 figures at an accounting job right out of college. Like this is what I went to school for. I graduated with a 3.7 GPA, like get the $100,000 job offer, like everybody in the family happy, like, like I made it already. And then to get fired, right? Get fired 2.5 months. And so now incomeless, I went out, leased the $800 a month car and everything.
What kind of car was it?
A Range Rover. I didn't play no games. I wanted what I wanted.
I like it.
So lease the car. What'd you say?
Are you still driving that car today?
I am. I thought I was gonna have to hide in the garage, and they was gonna have to come repo it during that because shoot, like, because literally it like that 5-month period, I had no income coming in. And imagine, okay, I had a good amount of savings, like, it was decent, but just imagine almost 1,000 coming out each month. Bam, bam. Like, I was like, oh my God, what am I gonna do? And because I haven't sold anything at this point, I'm like, I don't know if this is gonna work out. I don't know if this real estate thing is gonna work out. I'm like, I'm gonna have to like get rid of this vehicle. Like, I don't know, so it was a lot going on at that time. I was like having a little identity crisis too. I'm like, am I really like who I think I am? Like, oh my God, you went out here, you leased $1,000 car, like you're an idiot. And then I was just like, I'm gonna have to boss up. I'm gonna have to work hard. I'm gonna have to door knock. I'm gonna have to like do these open houses. I'm gonna have to learn scripts. I'm really going to have to be that person I was portraying to be. You want to be a boss? Okay, well, the boss takes all the accountability at the end of the day. So if that's who you want to be, you have to figure it out. So scripting, role play, again, open houses, door knocking around open houses, sending out golden letters, social media marketing, real hard, cold prospecting, using the car to prospect, like literally, again, just being innovative. Like I'll use the car to prospect because again, you got to be smart with who you. I'll serve anybody. I'll start by saying that I'll work with anybody, but I use the car to prospect sometimes because I pull up nice 2022 or 2020 Range Rover right next to somebody who BMW. They get out. I'm like, oh my God, man, like that's a super nice car. Like, what year is that? We're engaging in a conversation. We're building rapport. Before he leaves, hey man, super nice talking to you today. Just wanted to let you know, again, I'm in the real estate industry, but if you ever needed anything home improvement related, feel free to give me a call. I have a Rolodex of trusted contractors and people who do amazing work in this area. And I sold somebody a house like that one time, right? Literally didn't know him from a can of paint, but contacted me about some home improvement stuff as advertised because I wasn't saying, hey, buy, sell, or rent with me. I'm your guy, Montaz McCray. Buy, sell, and rent with me. Like, no, like, because it like come from contribution. Like, you got to think of innovative ways that you can help people and get in the door. Like, it gets annoying sometimes, right? Like, people constantly soliciting you, but you can find unique ways to come from contribution, and then opportunities will, arise from that.
I'm glad you went into detail because if you didn't, I was going to ask you how in the world did you use your car to prospect? I might have to upgrade vehicles so I can do the same thing. We'll see. Some extra
Because it's like, well, shit. Okay, well, he's asking what I do. And okay, I drive a nice car, but he also drives a nice car. So what do you do? Because it's just it's human nature. Like people are inquisitive. People want to know. Like if you pulled up in a Rolls Royce or pulled up in a Bentley, I wonder what that guy does. Like it's instant leads. Oh well, I'm so glad you asked. I'm actually a realtor in the DC, Maryland, and Virginia area. If you know anybody looking to buy or sell a house, I would love the opportunity to earn their business. Here's my card. People like stuff. I mean, it's crazy, but people like stuff. Like some people are more materialistic than others, and then more affluent people, they typically want to work with people who they feel like are similar to them and understand them.
That is a huge point right there, right? Because we were talking to someone the other day about luxury buyers and sellers. It's not just, hey, I want an expensive home. It's I need to make sure you understand where I am on a wealth management side and all of that. So I love that point. Now here's my question for you, because you went from not selling a house for the first 5-6 months to finishing the year at 11 million. You mentioned you did the door knocking, right? Prospected with your car. You did open houses. Was it that you weren't doing those things before, or was it just more of a mindset shift? Like what really changed?
The mindset shift, right? Because it's not, like I tell a lot of new agents, right? It's not the opportunity isn't there, but it's like, well, when opportunity comes, do you know what to say? Like, what to. I had a family member call me the other day, and they were like, "Hey, Montez, I'm selling my mom's old house because the mom had passed, and just wanted to let you know we're not going to list with you because we put names in a hat because his like an estate situation, and everybody knew a realtor. It was him and some other siblings, and everybody knew a realtor. They put names in a hat and they drew. They drew, and so I listened, and he said they selected, like my name wasn't chosen out of the hat. So I was like, I completely understand everybody has somebody that they're comfortable with using. However, I don't want the equity decided that you get out of your house to be chosen by whomever name that you pulled out of a hat. I think the best thing to do would be to sit down and interview each of those agents with all of your siblings, because at the end of the day, it's not about me, it's not about those other agents, but it's about the money that's put in your pocket at the end of the day. And I would just hate for your equity, the equity that's being pulled out of the house, to be decided by a name that was drew out of the hat. I want the most skilled individual to represent you, to represent your family during that sale. And it may not be me, but I want you all to make an informed decision about who you choose to represent you, because it's that important to me.
Yeah, that's coming from contribution right there.
And it's coming from contribution. And some other agents would have just been like, okay, well, or got mad, like, but I decided to spin it and come from contribution. And 5 days later, he called me, you know what? When I approached you about it, you had the best response after I went back and talked to all of the agents. So now I want to go ahead and enlist it with you. Right. And now I just got it under contract. Nice. But it's just like not immediately, like most people, oh, like forget them, like, but like, how can I come from contribution? Or another script I learned, you know what? I think it would be best if I could work with that agent in a tangent. They could represent you, but if they give me a referral fee, I would be happy to oversee the deal. Like, like just look over just another set of eyes, looking over the deal. In a sense, you have two agents, you have two guardian angels looking over the deal to make sure you're getting the best representation as possible. So yeah, they can still represent you, but we could just set up a situation where as though they give me a 30% referral fee and I still can be involved in a transaction from the back end. Like, it's so many different, but again, it's not that opportunity doesn't come. It's, do you know what to say when opportunity does come? Because a lot of new agents do get opportunity, but do you know what to say? How do you know how to listen to somebody's problems and fill those gaps, or put out little fillers so they know that you know how to fill gaps?
Now, Montez, it's clear that when we talk about KW culture and coming from contribution, you know exactly what you're talking about right there, right? Like you know how to have that conversation and show people that you really care with them, right? That you're really connecting with what their goals are and things like that. So if you don't mind me asking you this, like we all get into real estate for one reason or another, and sometimes those reasons change. What's your main reason, right? Or in the words of Gary and Simon and all those other people, what's your why? Why do you do this?
Right. So, the number one goal is to help people. So I feel like my God-given purpose is to help people, add value to people's lives. So I try to build everything around that. A philosophy that I live by is, if you help other people get what they want, you get what you want. So if you help somebody sell their house for top dollar, in the end, you are rewarded, with a commission, right? Or you just add value to people's lives with information and things of that nature, just being their number one source for, real estate needs and things of that nature. You always won't win. I just got burnt on a deal. It was like a $700,000 deal. I was helping her for the last year, and it was a property listed on the MLS, and she just decided to contact the agent herself. Contact the agent herself. And I think our buyer representation agreement, it had just expired and I needed to get it extended, but she wasn't actively looking because she was looking for something so niche. But she decided, she wanted to save some money or try to get the best deal on the house. So she thought the best way for her to get the best deal was just to cut me out and get it for what she wanted. So she actually ended up using my lender, all the stuff that I kind of instilled, and all the tactics and strategies that we talked about over the last year. So, and she decided, just to go behind my back. She wasn't even going to tell me, but I kind of already figured out. I found out through my lender. But it's fine, right? Like, what God has for me is for me, and I just left it like, I wish you the best. I mean, because I wouldn't do that to anybody, right? But I just say that, like, I just don't want to paint the picture as if I've never been burned, because I have been burned.
Oh yeah.
Like that, like, that's the thing. That was a $700,000 deal. I probably invested maybe like $400 in gas riding to do showings for her, because she was a little bit further, but since it was a larger deal, she was buying anywhere from 700 to $1 million. But it's fine. It's fine. You keep going. You have some people like that, but then you have other people who are just so loyal to you, and they're going to send you so many referrals just because, they love and respect you so much, and they just appreciate, everything you've done for them and their family.
And no, I love that. And I'm glad you touched on the referral portion, right? Because just thinking about, actually I can think back to family reunion, right? I think you and I had a nice long conversation right after family reunion, and you were like, dude, this year is not going the way it's supposed to be going right now. Now, you just got finished being awarded for, Rookie of the Year. And I remember you talking and saying, I did 11 million last year. I want to do 20 million this year. You're already at 13. So you already did 2 million more than you did all of last year. We have a few more months to go. Where is this extra business coming from? Is this stuff that's coming from your database and the referrals that you're getting from there, a lot reaching out to them, or is this all brand new solicited business?
Yeah. So again, I get a lot of business from open houses, because again, it's what the questions you ask, knowing how to put out little fillers that, oh, you have a problem. You haven't found an agent that's been consistent enough. Okay, cool. I'm going to call you for the next 6 weeks. I'm going to follow up with you for the next 6 weeks. I closed a client like that one time, and they didn't sign with me until like the 6th week. So it's like, again, talking to them, figuring out what the problem is. They haven't found an agent that's been consistent enough. Okay, well, perfect. It was so nice to meet you, Mr. and Mrs. Jones. I just want to keep in contact with you because I am one of the top listing agents in this zip code and, in this particular county. So as I get new listings, I would love just to shoot them out to you first, right? Boom, get contact information, checking in every week, signs an exclusive buyer representation with them. Week 6, finds them a house a week later, they settle a month later, but just learn how to fill holes and offer a solution to people's problems, because all business is problem solving.
I love that. I love that. So if you don't mind sharing that follow-up system with us, what does your follow-up with both your database and clients look like?
So if you're 90 days out, I want to touch you like every week. I want to call you like every week. If you're about to buy in the next 30 days, I want to touch you every 2 days. Okay. Right. Because, they could meet another agent. They could, a property could pop up. Like, if they're pre-approved, they're ready to go. And they're like, listen, I have no time constraints. I'm just waiting for the right house. Okay, cool. Like, I need to touch you, because buyers get bored fast. And if they feel like you're not working hard enough or present enough, it's like, they won't move on or go to the next best thing.
Okay. So, we got a few minutes left. And I definitely want to respect your time as well. I know you probably got 12 or 13 listing appointments to go on real quick. So answer this for me, man. What's next for you? Like, I know we want to end the year at 20. What are you trying to do after this year?
Yeah, so you have to be licensed in Maryland 3 years to start a team. So that's potentially on my radar. But then again, I've been learning the solo agent model. So it's just like, being the best solo agent that I could possibly be. Like, that's the thing. But probably I'm very entrepreneurial minded too. So probably creating other businesses and things of that nature that I'm a part of. Like I just had a meeting with my MAPS coach before this. And eventually the goal is to start McCray Enterprises. And that's like restaurants, nightclub, like whatever I want it to be. But that's the goal. I don't want to put myself in one box. Like I feel like I have so much more to offer the world. And but I want to use real estate as a vehicle. But as of right now, next 2 to 3 years, probably like an elite real estate team. And then, but who knows, like I'm 23 now, but who knows what 7 years from now looks like for me, or 6.
I promise you this, man. I'm gonna be keeping up because I'm already past that your age plus 7 year mark. So I definitely want to see, what you're doing. I'll ask you this final question. I love it when Gary does this with people and he says, what's the one thing that you want to leave everybody with today? Like, there is one thing you can share. What would that one thing be?
Yeah, so I feel like I would just go back to what I said earlier, just more so trusting the process.
Okay.
Believing in yourself, right? Like if you know you're working your hardest every day and you're taking the actions that taking the actions and taking the strides. A good job, his last name is blanking, but he's a team leader for our Frederick office. And he wanted to do an interview with me when I was still a newer agent, because I had like 9 deals that was supposed to close in 1 month, but I was still a very new agent. And he wanted to do a training with me on it for new agents, like, a live video session like this. And I said, well, no, I don't want to jinx myself. I don't want to, I don't want the deals to not close. And if you were like, oh my God, he did nothing. And he said, you know what, at the end of the day, it's about the actions. Right.
Yeah.
And that it made a lot of sense to me, because at the end of the day, if you're doing the actions, eventually the results will come. Even if all 9 of those deals had fell through, it's fine, because I was still doing the actions. I knew the action. I knew the actions, and eventually, if I continued to do those actions, I would see results. So, trusting in yourself, believing in yourself, and just trusting the process and not necessarily trying to rush it.
I love it. I love it, man. Well, hey, I'm going to let you go. Everybody, thank y'all so much for joining us today. I do want to point out a couple quick things. One, Montez says he has a coach. If you don't have a coach, get a coach, right? You need it. Put in the work, right? There's 2 things you can control. That's mindset and action, right? So control your mindset, control the action, right? You are the only person that can control those things. And Montez, can they reach out to you if they need to?
Yes.
How do they do it?
Absolutely. My email is info@montazmccray.com. And then also just CC my assistant admin at montazmccray.com, on Instagram at montez.maurice, Facebook, Montaz McCray.
Awesome. All right. If you can't spell it, you'll find him. He'll be in White Pages, right? Referral network. You can find him. He'll be up there with the top producers in the Maryland, DC area. So Montez, thanks again, man.